Ever wondered what your favorite NBA players' lives are like outside the game? Honestly, everyone has stories that the public doesn't always get to see. Today, I'll share 10 surprising things about your favorite NBA players that you had no idea about. Let's get into it, guys. At number 10, did you know that 2024 NBA Finals MVP Jaylen Brown was once a NASA intern? That's right. Brown's academic accolades are just as impressive as his basketball skills. While studying at Cal Berkeley, one of the nation's top universities, Brown was no ordinary freshman. He took graduate-level courses, excelled as an avid chess player on the varsity chess team, and even mastered multiple instruments, including the guitar and piano. Brown's intellectual pursuits didn't stop there. His work in physics caught the attention of NASA and earned him an internship, making him one of the most academically gifted players the NBA has ever seen. And he even delivered a lecture at Harvard, becoming the youngest lecturer in the university's history. NBA scouts even worried his intellectual pursuits might make him lose interest in basketball. But he's clearly proving them wrong. While Jaylen Brown was excelling in academics, at number 9, we have LeBron James, who once petitioned to skip high school and join the NBA early. Studying wasn't just his thing, but he had a real passion for sports. During his teenage years at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, LeBron was not just a basketball prodigy, he was also an exceptional football player. With Division I football offers rolling in, he faced a tough choice between pursuing football or sticking with basketball. Destiny rang the bell, and that decision was made for him after a wrist injury during a basketball game. Doctors advised him to avoid further risks, so he shifted his full focus to hoops. So, determined LeBron didn't want to wait and tried to join the NBA immediately. However, the league's rules are league's rules. It required players to graduate high school and be at least 18 years old to enter the draft. LeBron went as far as petitioning to drop out of high school to enter the league early. But unfortunately, the NBA denied his request. However, forced to stay in school, LeBron made the most of his senior year, delivering a legendary performance by leading his team to a third championship in 4 years. And by the time LeBron graduated high school, there was no debate, he was the number one. One overall pick for the NBA, and the rest is history we are seeing today. Our next star had to endure much more than a wrist injury to find his path to basketball. At number 8, we tell you about his journey, and he is none other than the 6-time NBA All-Star Jimmy Butler. Did you know before that he was homeless as a teenager? Growing up on the outskirts of Houston, Texas, Butler's childhood was anything but easy. He didn't have a father, and at just 13 years old, his own mother kicked him out of the house, leaving him without any place to stay. For months, Jimmy bounced between friends' homes until one of his friends' mothers, Michelle Lambert, took him in and welcomed him into her family. With the Lamberts' support, Butler found his passion in basketball and eventually earning a scholarship to Marquette. He went on to become a first-round pick in the 2011 NBA Draft. Today, Butler holds several Miami Heat franchise records that we all know. At number 7, we've got one of the most surprising secrets about Joel Embiid. This guy figured out how to shoot three-pointers most unconventionally, and that is by watching YouTube. Yes. When Joel Embiid arrived in the United States from Cameroon as a 16-year-old in 2011, he didn't know much about basketball, let alone how to shoot a basketball. But everything changed after an embarrassing moment during high school three-point shooting drills. Embiid shared in the Players' Tribune that he was humiliated by a teammate, and that lit a fire under him. He was determined to figure it out. He said, "I'm so competitive that I'm like, I gotta beat this guy. I gotta find a way. So I'm chilling one night, and I go on YouTube, and I'm thinking I'm about to figure this shooting thing out. I go to the search box like, how to shoot three-pointers. Nah. How to shoot good form. Nah. Then the light bulb went off, man. I typed in the magic words. White people shooting three-pointers. Listen, I know it's a stereotype, but have you ever seen a normal 30-year-old white guy shoot a three-pointer? That elbow is tucked, man. The knees are bent. The follow-through is perfect. Always. You know how in America, there's always an older guy wearing like Everlast sweatshorts at the court? Those are the guys I learned from on YouTube. Just random people shooting threes with perfect form. And that's what changed his game. Those YouTube videos didn't just help Embiid impress his high school teammates. They were the building blocks of what would become an incredible basketball career, helping him become one of the most dominant big men in the NBA today. See, watching YouTube videos can literally change your life, just like it did for Embiid. What you're doing right now could shape your future too. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get notified whenever we drop new knowledge that could help you in the future. You never know. Now, here's a wild one. At number 6, we've got the story of Dennis Rodman's attempt to wear the number 69 on his jersey. Naturally, the NBA wasn't having it. The league shot down his request, citing the suggestive connotations of the number. That's why he went for the next number, 70. We've all heard that saying, when you want something badly enough, the universe conspires to help you get it. And in Rodman's case, it was Dallas Mavericks, where he briefly played. They actually made a number 69 jersey for him. They even took a photo of him posing with it. While that jersey never made it to the court, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban still cherishes it. He has it hanging on his wall to this day. Speaking of the number 70, let's take it up a notch and talk about an incredible 71. No, this time, it's not about any jersey number. This is about scoring an insane 71 points in a single game. Did you watch that game? At number 5, we'll take you to February 26, 2023, when Damian Lillard delivered one of the most magical performances in NBA history during a game between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Houston Rockets. Scoring an insane 71 points, Dame literally put on a show that will surely be remembered forever. But instead of letting him bask in his glory, the NBA decided there was no way someone could go off like that without a little help. They hit him with a surprise drug test right after the game. Dame wasn't thrilled, saying, "That was actually my first time in my career being tested after a game, and on top of that, they know I'm scared of needles." Way to kill the vibe, NBA. They really spoiled one of the proudest moments of his career. At number 4, we've got the NBA delivering some justice. If you can remember, as it was a viral issue when Russell Westbrook was involved in one of the NBA's most controversial player-fan altercations. It was during a game against the Utah Jazz, suddenly a fan in the crowd started shouting disrespectful and inappropriate comments at Russ. And as a natural human instinct, Westbrook didn't just hold back. Caught on camera, Westbrook fired back, warning the fan in no uncertain terms to stop the abuse. The incident quickly went viral, sparking debates about fan behavior and player safety. Later, Westbrook was fined $25,000 by the NBA for his response. But the league made a powerful statement by banning the fan for life from attending Jazz home games. Both parties faced consequences, and that's what you call real justice. Coming in at number 3 is one of the most emotionally charged stories in the NBA. Story of how John Wall courageously battled suicidal thoughts and emerged stronger. A former number 1st overall pick, Wall rose to NBA stardom. But just when his career was reaching its peak, everything started crashing down. Not one or two, but a series of devastating incidents happened to him, just one after another. First, injuries, including a ruptured Achilles, kept him sidelined for over a year. On top of that, Wall faced unimaginable personal losses. His mother was his best friend. He lost her, and then his grandmother's gone. These all just kept adding to his emotional turmoil. After all these, he wasn't playing his best. and consequently traded to the Houston Rockets, one of the league's worst teams, which literally sent him spiraling into a dark place. He shared how close he came to ending it all, feeling utterly lost after all he had endured. It wasn't until he reached out for help and began therapy that he started his path to recovery. Next up, we have another inspiring story at number 2. It all started when NBA star Luka Doncic was scrolling through the news and came across a heartbreaking story about a young boy named Chris from his home country, Slovenia. Chris was battling a rare and aggressive muscle disorder, and doctors gave him just 8 months to live. Luka couldn't just sit back and watch. He immediately took to Instagram, announcing that he'd auction off signed memorabilia to raise money for Chris's treatment. Luka's fans from all over the world showed up in a big way, but it still wasn't enough. That's when Luka made a game-changing move. He personally donated $2.2 million and helped raise over $5 million in total to ensure Chris got the life-saving care he needed. But Luka didn't stop there. After the funds were secured, Chris and his family flew to Los Angeles, where doctors began the critical treatments. It was a tough road, but with time, Chris started to improve. Eventually, doctors shared the incredible news Chris's life had been saved, all thanks to Luka's generosity. At number 1, I've something that I can bet you haven't heard before. I think it's the most remarkable act of humanitarianism I've ever heard of. It's about Stephen Curry's fight for justice that eventually helped save an innocent life. Being the greatest shooter in NBA history, Curry has always used his platform to stand up against injustice. And one of the most profound cases he got involved in was that of Julius Jones. It was a murder case, and after spending nearly 20 years in prison, Julius claimed he didn't commit it. He was just framed, as the only evidence against him was a gun wrapped in a red bandana found at his home, which, in fact, didn't match his description or the details of the crime. Despite his protestations of innocence, Julius was still convicted and sentenced to death.